is going on? You know this is AlTone, and welcome to another absolutely fantastic day. And today I want to talk to you about a year with the DJI Mini 2. DJI has come out with a ton of different products, new products, and I really want to talk about my experience with the Mini 2 and maybe briefly if the Mini 2 is something that I want to upgrade from to one of the newer devices that's either out or coming out in the near future. So first of all, this is my DJI Mini 2. I have absolutely loved this thing. I've had a ball with it, but I've also crashed it twice. And I want to talk to you a little bit about that, as well as some of my thoughts. Like I said, DJI has come out with 2 new devices and about to be a 3rd one since the Mini 2 came out, and since I purchased this back last November. They came out with a more cost-effective version of the Mini, which is the SE. And then they also came out with the Air 2S, which is a phenomenal drone. I've actually had an opportunity to fly it. I do not own my own as of yet, but I think that's something that I'll be looking at in the future because I think it's an absolute fantastic drone, and it has a 1-inch sensor on the camera. And so for the type of capturing a video that I'm currently doing, I think it's going to be phenomenal. The Air 2S can handle a little bit higher winds and has a little bit better speed on it, which I chase boats and skiers often on the lake here where I live at, and to really be able to keep up with them, the Mini 2 does a pretty good job, but the Air 2S can do a much better job of keeping up with them. Plus, the Mini 2 does not have obstacle avoidance where the Air 2S does. So let's talk about my crashes with this one. So what you're seeing here is my Mini 2. It is not the original Mini 2 that came in a box. No, it isn't. It is actually a replacement because last winter, as it started to snow around January, February here in Northern Virginia, it's usually when we get our snows. Every now and then we get them around Christmas. I was trying to get up in the air and get a nice, beautiful shot of, everything covered in snow. I missed the first snow. The second one came around. It was a nice, good snow. So I went ahead and put this guy up. I cleared off a space in my driveway before I even shoveled my driveway. Cleared a space so I could put this guy up in the air and flew it around a little bit and captured some decent footage with a nice, beautiful layer of fresh snow on everything. And it was fantastic. But coming back in for a landing, a little bit too close to a tree limb. The one thing that you'll want to pay attention to if you do purchase any drone, and I do mean any drone, whether it be a DJI product or any other, air pressure happens to be one of them. Depending on the air pressure, your drone could drift up and down a little bit. Updrafts, downdrafts, and all of these different things could actually affect how well your drone will hold position. There was a very thin little tree limb covered with snow just up underneath where my drone was as I was coming back in. And because I was coming in at an angle, even though I had perfect line of sight on it, I still came in a little bit too close to the tree. Before I could get it out of the tree, it drifted into it. Props hit it. It basically shuts itself off. At least the Mini 2 does. It'll shut itself off, and it just free falls. It free fell into snow. One of the arms actually came down on an arm, so it broke one of the little landing piece here and basically busted one of the arms pretty much completely. Now I sent it back into DJI. It would have cost me for repairs about $300 and some. I paid a deductible. They sent me out a new drone. I had this bad boy back and paired with my remote and back up in the air within 2 weeks. No damage to anything, nobody's property, nothing like that. The second crash, I was circling a water fountain. I was paying attention to the screen and not looking at the drone. And as I was circling, I actually did a wide circle and went into one of the trees toward the edge. This drone could have ended up in the water, but thankfully it didn't. There was some nice tall grass. It fell down, got caught in the grass. The only thing that happened was one of my props broke off. So I went and replaced the prop, did a quick inspection. Everything was great, looks good, and we're good to go. Those first couple of accidents are fantastic for you understanding and learning the type of things that you need to look out for. Since then, one of the major things that's taken place is I got into FPV. Not only that, but I also realized quite a few regulations with FAA had come out, and I wanted to be able to share my footage online on this channel or any of my YouTube channels, or share them in other places, or capture video that I could use for commercial purposes. And what I found out there was two things. One, the FAA came out with a certification called the Trust certification, which all recreational flyers must have. And it's basically to give you a brief education on what the FAA expects from you as a recreational drone pilot, the safety measures that you should take, and any reporting that you might have to do to the FAA. They want to make sure that you're aware of that. Also, what size and weight of drone is it that you have to register with the FAA, even if you're flying recreationally, even if you're flying in your backyard? Those are the things that you want to know, and the Trust certification allows you to get that, and it lasts for a lifetime. You only have to get it once. And I very much encourage you, if you're thinking about getting a drone, I don't care what drone it is, and you want to fly it for recreational purposes, just having fun, that you go and do that. The other certification that I've obtained since then was my Part 107 certification. I started studying back in November, and it took me until about August, with all the other things going on, that I finally got certified, which means that I now can openly and without fear of getting fined, unless I do something that is illegal, share with you my drone footage from any of my drones. And almost every single one of my drones currently, except for the ones that can only fly in the house, are registered as for recreational and as a part of my Part 107 certification with the FAA. So there is an exception, and that's this guy. This happens to be the Tiny Hawk Freestyle made by Emax. And if you saw my previous video, this is the guy that I had get stuck in a tree, and it was there for over 127 days. It still flies. Then of course I have my Center Queen, two cameras, a dual camera system on it. One of them is a 4K camera. The other one is the camera that goes back, get your feedback to your goggles. And then of course I've got my Mobula 6 HD, which is fantastic. One of the major things I really want to share with you on this video as well is there are 3 YouTubers that have influenced my ability to grow as far as flying camera drones such as the Mini 2 or FPV. So the ones that have helped me with camera drones the most since I've got this guy is Captain Drone and Pilot Institute. Those 2 channels have been a wealth of knowledge. Captain Drone has been absolutely fantastic, and Greg from Pilot Institute is an actual commercial licensed commercial pilot who has also come up with some training, Pilot Institute, which you can take to help you pass your 107 if that's something that you want to do. And then of course the third one that's really helped me tremendously with FPV, Captain Drone, also being one that's helped me tremendously with FPV. He's got a whole FPV section on his YouTube channel, but also Joshua Bardwell. I think I'm saying his name correctly. I used to call him Bardwell. Now I don't remember which one is correct. I'll make sure I link all 3 of them or put them in the cards here somewhere. But all 3 of them have been very instrumental with me learning how to fly, what the different parts of an FPV drone are, what things to look for in a camera drone depending on what you're going to use them for. They have all been tremendously instrumental with helping me to be able to figure all of that out. Even setting up rates and tuning an FPV drone and what type of goggles are the best ones for me. I mean, all of them have been very instrumental. I do have my preferences. You can see those down in the description as well, but I'm telling you, those are great resources, and I really appreciate all of the information that they have shared. So if that's something that you're into, or you're curious about and you're thinking about getting into FPV, then first of all, grab yourself an Emax drone. They are absolutely phenomenal. And there's a kit, especially if you're going to FPV. If you're going to get a camera drone, I highly recommend the Mini 2 as the low-cost option. Unless you are really strapped for cash, I'm not too keen on the SE. I think the Mini 2 is the best choice. That's my personal opinion. Of course, again, links in the description for everything here that I'm talking about. And if you use those links, they absolutely help this channel to grow without costing you a thing. Great way to support the channel, and I really appreciate it. Thank you in advance for using those links. And that's pretty much it. The only thing I'll ask you is this: if you have any questions for me, specifically as a newer content creator using drones, camera drones and FPV to capture thoughts and ideas in video, then make sure you drop those questions down in the comment section. Absolutely love to hear from you. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I look forward to talking to you again in a future video.